How can we create a lasting impact on the world around us? We believe that sustainable, scalable, and successful businesses are the driving force behind long-term change. But we all think that's why we're here. So what does this mean to Enactus Nottingham? We are sustainable. This year, our 167 members have generated over $200,000. And the futures of our enterprises are secure. With clear handover strategies, they will thrive long after they leave our portfolio. And our businesses are scalable. This year, our impact has grown from 4,500 to 37,000 in just 1 year. But what makes our businesses successful? Some say that making lots of money or having big numbers is the definition of success. For us, it is more than that. We define success by the life-changing stories we hear, the way our businesses transform lives. We are Enactus United Kingdom, and this is our ethos.
This ethos is at the heart of Recovered, a social enterprise in Nottingham providing affordable furniture to individuals in need. But can a business recycling old furniture genuinely transform lives? Could it provide someone with a stable job and financial security? Can it give a veteran comfort and stability? How can furniture enable a parent to keep custody of their children? Let us tell you how our furniture business successfully transforms lives. This is the story of Recovered.
Through our relationship with the local government in Nottingham, we found how over 400 items of reusable furniture are thrown into landfill every week in Nottingham alone. This environmental cost translates into an economic one too. Collection and disposal of waste furniture costs our local government a staggering $1 million every year.
We also came to understand the social devastation caused by unfurnished homes by conducting another thorough needs assessment with the Friary, a local drop-in centre for vulnerable adults. We found that 100% of those asked needed an affordable source of furniture.
Think about it. Furniture is essential in making a house a home, a place where some of our most treasured memories are born. Sitting on the sofa watching the game with your mates, big dinners around the table with all the family, reading your child their favourite bedtime story. But these are memories that many public housing tenants are denied. Public houses, by law, must be stripped before new tenants arrive. This was the case for Mike. He returns to his house, but it isn't a home. No table, no sofa, no bed for him and his children. Nothing. Because he cannot afford to furnish his home, Mike and his children sit, eat, and sleep on the floor.
This is the reality for many living in the 45,000 public houses in Nottingham who cannot afford furniture, who cannot afford to make their house a home.
3 clear problems.
Environmental, the damage caused by unnecessary furniture waste.
Economic, the high cost to both governments and tenants.
Social, the poor quality of life caused by unfurnished homes.
We had to take action.
To tackle these issues, we developed a unique 3-step business model. First, collection. The local government advertises our free furniture collections to the public. Our service means they collect less, reducing the strain on their resources, whilst giving us access to a truly sustainable supply. Our employee then collects these items with our van and takes them to our very own warehouse. In this 14,000 square foot space, we're able to keep upwards of 400 items of furniture.
Second, refurbishment. The furniture is refurbished to a high standard by our workers and undergoes safety and quality assurance checks. From there, it is displayed in our showroom.
Third, sales. To sell business to consumer, we partnered with the 4 largest public housing associations in Nottingham and 10 more community help organisations. Through these sales partners, we offer a 50% discount voucher to public housing tenants in need. Customers then choose the items they want. They can buy a bed for $40 and furnish the rest of the room for under $100.
Once an item is sold, we deliver to customers. We are proud to say we have a 100% satisfaction rate on our 560 sold items. As our company grew, we introduced a new revenue stream, business to business. We supply furniture to charity shops for them to independently price and sell. This increases our revenue, allowing higher subsidies for public housing tenants in need.
We also sell our furniture directly to public housing associations. For a small proportion of customers, even $40 is too much for a bed. To reach these people, public housing associations pay us directly to furnish tenants' homes in these severe cases.
But how is Recovered sustainable and scalable? Since February 2016, we've had an average weekly revenue of $600 against an average weekly cost of $550. With a total revenue exceeding $30,000 just 12 months after our first sale, Recovered is financially sustainable.
And the demand is nationwide. Other regional governments have expressed an interest to introduce Recovered.
Beyond this, we are expanding into electrical appliances, a new credit option, and are in talks with the University of Nottingham to refurbish all office furniture.
So, how is our sustainable and scalable business driving long-term change? Every step of our business model is fundamentally impactful. By collecting furniture destined for landfill, we have prevented over 800 tons of CO2 emissions, equivalent to driving a car over 100 times around the world. Every year, the local government spends over $1 million on the collection, crushing, and disposal of waste furniture. In our first year, we are proud to say we've already saved the government an estimated $115,000.
But who runs these operations? Let me introduce you to John. John is a public housing tenant, and before joining us, was facing bankruptcy, long-term unemployment, and social isolation.
But no longer. As our operations manager, he collects, refurbishes, sells, and makes strategic decisions on a daily basis. Recovered has given him financial security, allowing him to pay off his debts and even save for the car he's always wanted. A man truly empowered. John has been able to take his life into his own hands.
Put me back on my feet. It's brought all my debts up to date. Last year, if I weren't working for you, they would have continued to grow all the time. So I wouldn't have paid anything. I would have been on the dole until I retired, which has been no good for me. I've always wanted to work, and you've given me the chance, and that I've got to thank you for.
John is just one of the 16 people who have worked with us this year. By providing training in business, accounting, and refurbishment, each one of our beneficiaries have been empowered to take control of their own lives.
But it doesn't end there. This year, Recovered has saved over $82,000 for 158 families. But what does providing affordable furniture mean for the individual? Here is Richard, a veteran and public housing tenant, explaining what it means to him.
This has made a big difference to me. And financially, I could not afford to do it. So for me, this was an absolute godsend.
From new parents to veterans, Recovered has transformed lives. But there is one story that will stay with me forever. A customer came to the warehouse one day and bought a bed for $40. When leaving, he turned and thanked me. Unable to afford a bed anywhere else, his 2 children had been sleeping on the floor. Child services were threatening to take his boys away from him. Remember Mike? This is his story. He thanks me for keeping his family together.
Recovered's real success are these stories.
By creating a business capable of breaking even week on week, just 12 months after our first sale, we have built a platform to foster long-term change in our community.
Diverting over 800 tons of CO2 emissions.
Empowering 16 individuals.
Saving our local government over $115,000.
Saving public housing tenants over $82,000.
And improving the lives of 158 families. Where others saw waste, we saw an opportunity to make a house a home.
Our belief in the power of business is reflected in our international portfolio. This is an example of how entrepreneurial action transforms lives globally. This is Aqua.
Today, 663 million people still lack the most basic need of all, the impact of waterborne diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid is shocking. And that's if they're lucky. Over 3.4 million people die every year because of easily preventable diseases.
But what if we told you that the way to save those lives will also allow children to go to school, to enable adults to secure stable jobs, and to save families and communities money. Aqua began when a charity called Reignite told us about the dire water situation in Bambui, Cameroon. We travelled there to construct a needs assessment, which identified the two key problems surrounding clean water access. First, after carrying out tests with an internationally accredited laboratory, the local water sources proved unsafe for human consumption. And second, the only source of clean drinking water was unaffordable bottled water. To drink the daily recommended amount cost 300% above the average household income. This is equivalent to the average Canadian family spending $625 on water a day.
People are forced to drink dirty water, and as a result, an astonishing 12,500 people in Bambui suffer from waterborne illnesses such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid each year, the treatment of which cost the average family up to half their annual income. Even worse still, in 2014, 248 people lost their lives due to dirty water. We needed to develop a solution.
Alongside the engineering department at the University of Nottingham, we designed our own biosand filtration system. To establish the quality of our filtered water, we performed a wide range of tests with GSK and Science for Life.
Success! Aqua's filtered water exceeded EU standards for safe drinking water. Here is a scaled-down model to demonstrate how it works.
Our filters utilise a timeless scientific process. The dirty water first passes through a thin biological layer which consumes pathogens. Next, the water filters through a layer of fine sand, trapping any physical contaminants and larger pathogens. The final two layers consist of small and large gravel, keeping the flow of water consistent by stopping sand from clogging the outlet.
And like magic, the dirty water has been fully filtered, giving a refreshing and, most importantly, safe glass of water. Cheers.
So, how are we using this technology to transform lives? We hire people through our project partner Bio, a local organisation for unemployed youth, to build filters at our factory. They also act as sales agents for our two revenue streams. First, business to government. We work with governments to implement our technology on a large scale. The water is filtered at source and flows through the existing pipeline network. This ensures that water is clean from every tap in the community.
However, not everyone has access to these taps. This meant that a small proportion of people were still forced to drink unclean water. To ensure that everyone has access, the government buy our filters to place in these remote locations. We charge them for the purchase and maintenance of these Aqua filters.
Through this model, the 22,000 people of Bambui now have access to clean, safe water for free for the first time in their lives. We then saw the opportunity to widen our impact and introduce a second revenue stream, business to business. Our employees sell our filters to institutions and charge an annual maintenance fee. Through this, our revenue increases exponentially. By implementing our filters in 2 universities, 12,000 students now have free access to safe drinking water.
But how is our business sustainable and scalable? In order to cover all our costs, we need to sell 1 filter per month. Since April this year, we have sold 7 filters and project that by December, we will have sold 15. And our future is bright. We are expanding our current model by holding talks with 2 neighbouring governments, as well as multiple prisons, universities and hospitals, all with a combined population of 422,000 people.
But how has Aqua transformed lives? This year, our business has allowed us to train and empower the lives of 47 individuals. They receive training for construction, market research, impact measurement, alongside general business skills. Just one example is our manager, Didion. Before joining us, he was struggling financially and had limited opportunities due to a lack of skills and education. But take a look at him now.
Before I was being made the Aqua manager, I think I was barely living, like struggling in life. This business has changed in my life and that of my family, not to talk of that of the community. Even if our members back there in UK leave this company, that no, they want to continue with this, that idea can never die because they have impacted more in me
The definition of empowered. Didion has become our representative to government officials and even independently initiating sales to businesses. And it is through our employee sales that Aqua achieves its greatest success. This year, Aqua has made water not just accessible, but free for 34,000 people in Cameroon. But what does providing safe water mean for the individual? Here is Romanos telling us what access to our safe water means to his family in Bambui.
Small baby you saw there, since they gave birth, that's the water she's drinking. Since I started using this filter, none of my children has had any problem with waterborne diseases. None of my children, not myself. The fact that I don't spend money to buy water, that's an impact. I use the money now for other things.
Romanos is just one of 34,000 stories of life transformation. This year, by providing clean, accessible water in Bambui, Aqua has eradicated cholera, dysentery and typhoid.
This means that children can get an education, parents can go to work, and families can live healthier lives. On top of this, we are saving families half their annual household income that they would normally spend on medical fees.
This community transformation is reinforced by our impact measurements. Over the last 3 years, we have collected hospital data in Bambui. This data tells a story of its own. Since Aqua's full implementation, no one has died from waterborne illnesses. How can we create a lasting impact on the world around us? Business, sustainable, scalable, successful.
I would now like to introduce our president, Andy Stride, up to the stage for Q&A.
We will now begin the question and answer session. Only judges may ask questions. Please stand if you wish to ask a question.
I had a question about the maintenance of the filters. Once installed, how do you ensure that they are being maintained?
So our manager, Didion, has actually been empowered and trained with the skills to maintain the filter. Once every 3 months, he travels to each location and performs a simple swell and dump method. The filters, maintained like that, can actually last for 10 years.
Congratulations, great job. I've got a question on the recovered project. I'm unclear how you actually resource the factory. How do you attract the talent? How do you train them? And how do you ensure that they're sustainable going forward?
We source all our volunteers from partner organisations such as the Friary. We actually employed John from one of our partner organisations, the Framework. We worked with Framework and the Friary to ensure that they had the necessary skills and certifications before they joined us in refurbishment. So he has about 25 years of refurbishment skills. We then empowered him to help us train other individuals that we employ and volunteer.
Well done, guys. Just kind of echo that question. I was just wondering, is John still working with Recovered? And if so, how many other people are currently being employed by Recovered?
Currently, John is our only employee. Within the next 2 years, we'd like to take on between 2 and 4 more full-time volunteers and 1 or 2 more full-time employees.
The zero graph is pretty impactful, by the way. Can you talk a little bit more about the finances around Aqua? I know you said you've got stuff in the pipeline and 7 sold, but you didn't dig too much into the finances there.
So with Aqua, we've sold 7 filters since April, and that means that because of our maintenance model, which means that our revenue grows exponentially, it means that for the last 4 months we've actually broken even, and that in October we will have sold 15 because we have 2 really exciting contracts coming up, which means our impact will grow by 22,000, which we're going to sell 8 more filters, which means that we'll be making a profit for this annual year. A filter costs $166 for the customer, costs $100 for us to make, and the maintenance fee is $25 every 3 months.
So my question is similar. I feel like the Recovered has a lot of overhead costs with the warehouse and everything. So can you maybe dive a bit into how you're generating more money from that?
Our overhead costs have actually been reduced significantly in the last year. So our warehouse actually costs 8,000 Canadian dollars for a 14,000 square foot. This has been reduced fourfold because we now partner with the University of Nottingham. Our other main overheads are the van, which we purchased with a grant for 10,000 Canadian dollars. And through this, we've been able to reduce our operating costs weekly, and we're now breaking even week on week.
On the back of your annual report, you show it looks like over 25% profit margin, which is fantastic, if I read that right. Can you talk about how much of that is going back into these 2 projects you chose to speak about, or do you have other plans with your other project allocations?
So we currently have 19 projects in our portfolio. Aqua and Recovered are our main ones at the moment that have hit our sort of impact stage. They've had, Aqua's had $50,000 put into it and Recovered $40,000. A lot of the other revenue is being reinvested into some more projects so that we have more coming through the pipeline. The main one being Zest, which is a social supermarket reducing food waste, which by next year, we've signed a big contract already with a leading UK supermarket. By next year, we aim to be reducing a lot of food waste in the UK.
Judges, any more questions? Okay, well with that, thank you. Judges, please join me in thanking the team from the United Kingdom for their presentation.